All right, everybody, welcome to the Armchair Hockey League yet again. This is going to be the March 22nd, 2022 file, and we're going to kick things off with the Boston Bruins and the New York Islanders. The Bruins coming off, they're on the second end of a back-to-back, just coming off of a game against the rival Canadiens where they lost by 1 when the Canadiens scored with just 5 seconds to play. The Bruins now trying to catch the Maple Leafs. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Really just trying to hold off the Sabres more realistically, I would say. Whereas the Canadiens are trying to get into that second wild card race, but it's very unlikely that it's going to happen. And so I think they're just trying to just kind of play and see around with what happens. The Islanders also trying to. They seem like I would say that they're looking to lose. They're only 1 point ahead of the Red Wings, who are currently the last place team in the Eastern Conference. And it's unlikely that you're going to make up 11 points in these last 20 games. You need a team to have an epic collapse, and you actually need a few teams. And they just traded Barzal. They traded Pelech to the Maple Leafs. They traded Beauvillier to the Golden Knights. They traded Dobson and Wallstrom to the Coyotes. So the Islanders making some moves here to get worse, whereas the Bruins made a lot of moves to get better. So we'll see what we have here. The Bruins and the Islanders drop the puck, and the Islanders with a quick power play goal from Josh Bailey. Bruins finally get their first shot on goal, and the third shot on goal is a goal by Hornquist to tie the game. So tied at 1 here, under 10 minutes to play in the first. The Bruins starting to take control of the game, leading the way in shots, but Brock Nelson's going to put one home for the New York Islanders. So it's 2-1 as we come to a close of the first period. Bruins leading the way in shots, 16-12. And there's another goal, Casey Cizikas. So the Islanders leading 3-1, and the Bruins trying to have some jubilation after their deadline acquisitions, but they give up another goal to Lee. They finally get one from Riley. So it's 4-2 Islanders as we end the second period. We now head to the third. Bruins leading the way in shots, but only 27-25. The Islanders lead by 2 goals. Islanders taking the lead in shots, but Frederic scores for the Bruins to make it 4-3. It's a 1-goal game now. Under 10 minutes to play, and we get a tie. Julien Gauthier, and then a quick goal by Marchand. And the Bruins now lead 5-4. Not sure what happened there. I apologize. But an answer by Palmieri late, and it's 5-5. A lot of offense in this period. Under a minute to play, we will go to overtime. So both teams get a point. Bruins leading the way 41-34 in the shots department. And what a third period that was. We go to overtime. See what we can get here. And it does not look like we will get a goal, so we'll go to the shootout. And the Bruins will score 3 times. Pasternak, Marchand, and Barzal with the final tally to give the Bruins the win over his former New York Islanders. So the Bruins finally get a win after the trade deadline. Shouldn't say finally, it's only been 2 games. But Brock Nelson, a goal and 3 assists. Bailey with a goal and 2 assists. Gauthier, the former Ranger, 1 goal and 1 assist. Gauthier is somebody who came over in the original McAvoy trade. Check out the stats right here. 6 shots for Lee. A lot of shots. A couple guys just getting a lot of shots on net for the Islanders. As we then check the Boston Bruins stats. Barzal with 2 assists. Yet again, not too much. I mean, Pasternak, 1 shot on goal, only 1 hit. Didn't really do too much. Marchand and Bergeron were much more active in this game. Marchand 6 shots, 4 hits. Bergeron 3 shots on goal. And so that'll do it for us here from the Bruins and the Islanders. And so the Bruins now just 6 points behind the Maple Leafs. I believe the Maple Leafs do play, so we'll see what happens there. If the Bruins, because they won't have a game in hand on them anymore, and the Islanders get a point, so they move a little bit closer to the Flyers in the standings. The next game we have will be Calgary and San Jose. Calgary made some moves lately, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they did. They traded for Pierre-Luc Dubois. And they traded for Shea Weber. And they also traded Tkachuk and Hanifin to the Blues for Parayko, Barbashev, and Perrin. So a couple moves there for the Flames. The Sharks had sold off a bit early. Both teams not really out of it. The second wildcard spot is only 69 points. Again, granted, the Blues have a couple games at hand on a lot of these teams. But the second wildcard spot is to be had in the Western Conference. A lot of teams could be in play for that. So let's get to this one. San Jose and Calgary. We drop the puck. And an early goal by Coleman by the Flames. It's another goal by Monahan, so Calgary up 2-0 early. Under 5 minutes to play. And the first period will end with a late goal by Monahan. And so the Flames lead 3-0. They lead 10-9 in shots at the end of the first period. There's a goal by Forbert, who came over in the Erik Karlsson trade. So 3-1 Calgary. And Martinook scores for San Jose to make it 3-2. And LeBock scores to tie the game. So 3 in a row from Calgary, 3 in a row from San Jose. And we are now tied, and 4 in a row for San Jose. Forbert, scores his second of the game. We will end the second period with the Sharks now up 4-3. So once again, Calgary led 3-0 with 3 unanswered goals. San Jose scores 4 unanswered in the second period. And we now head to the third. It's 5 unanswered goals for the San Jose Sharks, and we finally get an answer from Lewis from the Flames. 5-4 as we get on the 10-minute mark in the third period. Crunch time. Under 5 minutes to play. Can Calgary make something happen? And they do with 1:01 to play. Lewis scores his second in a row to force overtime. So an excellent game so far. We go to the overtime period. And we will not get a goal, so this one will be solved in a shootout. And the winner is Calgary. Gaudreau scores. Maybe it goes from the top. Balser scores, Lindholm scores, and Gaudreau scores. Lindholm and Gaudreau for the Flames. Balsers for the Sharks. So that'll do it. Flames lead it. Flames win it 6-5. Forbert, 2 goals, 2 assists. An epic night for him. Monahan, 2 goals, 1 assist. Lewis, 2 goals, no assists. Those are your 3 stars of the game. We'll quickly run through these stats here. 5 shots on goal from Shea Weber. A lot of activity from him, but not too much to show for it. Just the 1 assist. Checking out San Jose. Once again, just a great night by Forbert. 29 minutes of ice time. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, and 4 hits. A lot of activity. Bonino, 4 hits, 2 assists. A lot of physicality from the San Jose Sharks. Just 12 hits from just these 3 players alone. Forbert, Bonino, and Martinook. You got 3 hits down here from Vlasic. So a lot of hits from the San Jose Sharks. But it's not enough to win the game overall. We will move on to our next game. Calgary's on a 3-game winning streak. They beat the Sabres 3-0. They beat the Canucks 4-2. And now they beat the Sharks 6-5 in a shootout. They'll get 2 days off before their next game. The next game we have today is Tampa Bay versus Carolina. Carolina's coming off of a 3-1 win against the Rangers, who they are chasing in the Metropolitan. But the Rangers have pulled away as of late. It's going to be tough to make up the 11-point deficit with 21 games left to play. The Tampa Bay Lightning are chasing the Rangers for the top seed in the Eastern Conference. The Lightning have 2 games in hand, and they're currently 5 points behind the New York Rangers. So we'll see what we can get here. Neither team really making too many trades near the deadline. So we drop the puck here. The Tampa Bay Lightning against the Carolina Hurricane. It's a matchup of the Storms, and we get 2 quick goals by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Sergachev and Kucherov put the Lightning up 2-0. Power play for the Lightning, but it's a goal by Nikas. Not shorthanded. It was a regular, even strength goal. So the first period ends 2-1 Tampa Bay. They lead 12-10 in shots as well. We go to the second period. Kucherov, with his second of the game, is going to put Tampa Bay up 3-1. Under 10 minutes to play here in the second, past the halfway part of the game. And we will end the second period. Tampa Bay up 3-1, leading the way 24-17 in shots. Carolina going to try to get something going here. On the power play, nothing doing. And if they're going to make this a contest, they got to get something going pretty quick. They can't capitalize on that power play. They finally capitalize on that power play. Jesper Fast. So the third power play of the third period gives them a goal, but it's not going to be enough. Tampa Bay will go on to win this game 3-2. We check out the 3 stars of the game. Kucherov, 2 goals and an assist. Vasilevsky, 28 saves. Nino Niederreiter for the Canes with 2 assists. And we check these stats. 7 shots on goal for Nikas. So a very active night for him. Tampa Bay. Kachuk with just barely under 10 minutes of ice time, but 5 shots on goal. So just firing it at the net. Alright, so that'll do it for Tampa Bay and Carolina. We go to our next game, which will be Columbus and Pittsburgh. Check the standings here. The Blue Jackets, currently the second wildcard team at 72 points. The Penguins, currently just a point above the worst team in the Eastern Conference. So a fall from grace for the big guys, Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. And let's see what we get here. Now Pittsburgh, it should be noted though, could be shepherding in the young guns. There's a quick goal by McGinn. So they're likely to have a top pick in this draft. And they traded for somebody's first round pick earlier. The first period will end with Pittsburgh up 1-0. And let me just see real quick, who did Pittsburgh get that first round pick from? Jenner scores for the Blue Jackets to tie it at 1. Did they not get a first? So we're still tied at 1 as we near the end of the period. We go to the third, still tied at 1. Columbus leads 22-14 in shots. No, that's right. It was I thought it was a first from the Panthers, but the Panthers didn't own their first rounder, so they had to downgrade that pick in the Jake Gensel trade. Pittsburgh, Malkin scores late with 5:43 to play, and Pittsburgh wins the game 2-1. Sorry, I was a little bit preoccupied on that. So Tristan Jarry, 33 saves. Malkin and McGinn with a goal each. Those are your 3 stars of the game. The Penguins with a nice victory here. It's a little tough. You got these veterans on the team that don't want to quit. but you're also trying to capitalize to maybe get some of this fresh blood in here so that you can prepare for the next era of Penguins hockey. You still got a lot of years left on this Crosby deal. Malkin is a free agent, though, as is Letang coming up. So we'll see what they do with those two in the offseason. I doubt that they want to leave. The next game that we're going to get is Edmonton against Dallas. So let's see what we get here. We drop the puck on this Western Conference battle. And a power play for Dallas, but nothing doing. Not a lot of activity here in the first period yet. We will end the period scoreless, and both teams tied at 10 shots apiece. We go to the second, where we hope for a little bit more goal scoring. But so far not getting any. Under the 10-minute mark, Dallas on a power play. They finally get a goal. Phil Kessel puts one home, and Dallas leads 1-0. Nearing the end of the second period, they get a second goal, Gurianov, to give them a 2-goal lead. They lead the way 26-21 in shots. It's a 2-goal lead. They get a power play early, and it's Joe Pavelski with a power play goal to lead 3-0. Edmonton with a power play now. Edmonton been spending a lot of time in the box. Dallas on another power play. They get a 5-on-3, and Robertson scores to make it 4-0. So Edmonton spending just a ton of time in the box in this one, giving all the advantage to Dallas, who is going to take this game 4-0. They lead the way 38-28 in shots. 3 stars of the game. Ettinger, 28 saves. Sagan, 3 assists. Pavelski, a goal and an assist. We look at the Dallas stats. These guys get a lot of shots on goals. And now we check out the Edmonton stats. Let's see, Shore with 4 minutes of penalty time. Ryan Hopkins 5 shots. Draisaitl just 1 shot. Draisaitl only played 10 minutes, and I'm assuming it's because he's not on the penalty kill, and that's why you're not going to win many games if you have Leon Draisaitl playing just 10.5 minutes. Archibald and Perlini with 2 penalty minutes apiece. Conor Mcdavid still played 20 minutes. Again, he had 6 shots in the last game, 5 shots in this game, and no goals. So a little bit of a slump for Conor McDavid. And the Stars take this one. We will advance to our next game. Oh, that's probably why. So Draisaitl left the game with an injured shoulder. His estimated return is March 29th. We will replace that player for now. And the next game we get is the Detroit Red Wings and the Philadelphia Flyers. Now the Red Wings are now 2 points behind the Panthers and 2 points behind the Islanders. And they are currently the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Only 5 points behind the Flyers. They're 12 points behind the Blue Jackets. They made a lot of trades. They're trying to get something out of this season. They just recently traded Pius Suter to the Rangers for Philip Hedl and Ben Bishop, as they severely needed an improvement in their goaltending. And let's see if they get it from the Bish. Benny the Bish going up against the Flyers. There's a quick goal by Eichel. And there's a quick answer by the Flyers, Ryan Ellis, to tie the game. So Bishop gives up his first goal. Philly getting out in front here, being super aggressive with their shots. They're already at 13. There's a goal by Zucker, the former Penguin. And the Red Wings will lead 2-1 despite trailing in shots 14-8. And there's a goal by Namastinkov, and Detroit leads 3-1. Hronek scores, and Detroit leads 4-1. So Detroit finding the back of the net here in this one. Bishop holding up so far. Obviously, we haven't even passed the halfway part of the game. Verana scores, and it's 5-1 Detroit. So the offense is hitting on all cylinders tonight. We are nearing the end of the second period. Still leading 5-1. Bishop holding up under the shots. He's faced 20 so far. He's allowed 1 goal. Can he hold up here in the third period? Detroit on the power play. Nothing doing. They hold a commanding lead, and Adam Ern's going to score to put him up 6-1. Eichel, his second of the game, puts him up 7-1. So the action is happening for the Red Wings. Can they get hot? Can they keep this kind of production up? And Ben Bishop is going to hold up in net. He's allowing just 1 goal. And that activity allows the Red Wings to flourish. 2 goals and an assist for Jack Eichel. 3 assists for Tyler Toffoli. And Bishop with 25 saves. He is a 3rd star of the game in just his first appearance after coming over from the Rangers. And we look at the stats here. We check the stats for Philly. So the Red Wings no longer the unanimous worst team in the Eastern Conference. They're now tied for that status with the Panthers and the New York Islanders. Scott Lawton has been injured with a fractured jaw. His estimated return is April 1st. It's a quick heal for a fractured jaw. Alright, so the next game that we have, and the Red Wings also, it should be pointed out, they're also on a 3-game winning streak. They beat the Canucks 3-1, they beat the Kraken 6-4, and actually they might be better. They're 8-2 in their last 10, so they're getting hot. Just checking out their schedule here. There's a 4-game winning streak so far. 2-1 shootout win over the Oilers, 3-1 over the Canucks, 6-4 over the Kraken, and now 7-1 over the Flyers. And so we go to our next game, which will be the Kings and the Predators. The Kings at 65 points, trying to get into that second wild card spot. The Predators, who are coming off of a loss to the Ducks. The Predators are trying to also get into that second wild card spot, just 2 points behind the Blues. And we are underway here in Tinseltown. Kings score first. Viardi, 1-0 Kings. 5 minutes into the game, then we only had 2 shots. There's another goal. Grundstrom scores, and the Kings lead 2-0. And there's a goal by Duchesne. So the Kings lead now is 2-1. And we will go to the second period. Still no goals so far here in the period. Nashville on the power play. Nothing doing there. And we are getting to the end of the period, and we'll go to the third. Nashville trails 2-1, but leads in shots 21-17. Predators trying to prey on the Kings. The Kings will score, though. Anze Kopitar, and the Kings now lead 3-1. And that should do it. There's one more goal. Grundstrom scores the empty netter. So the Kings take this one 4-1. And so the Predators, after trading away Forsberg, are now 0-2. We check the stats here for the Kings. And now for the Predators. So that'll do it for us here from the Kings and the Predators. The next game that we have on tap for you is gonna be, I think it's the Devils. Yep, the Devils and the Rangers. So the Devils currently the top wild card in the Eastern Conference. They are 2 points behind the Hurricanes in the Metropolitan. Neither team has a game in hand. Now the Rangers are 8 points ahead of the Capitals. No games in hand there as well. They are 3 points ahead of the Lightning for the top spot in the East. And they are 6 points ahead of the Avalanche for the top spot in the NHL. Now they just traded Philip Hedl and Ben Bishop for Pius Suter, and they traded for Philip Forsberg, trading a couple prospects. Hunter Skinner, Oliver Tarnstrom, and the conditional pick that they have in the McAvoy trade. So if the Rangers win the Cup, if they win the division, I think it goes to the Bruins. So it's most likely going to be a second-round pick in there. So let's see what we got here. Forsberg's first game as a New York Ranger, playing on the top line with Panarin and Zibanejad, playing against the rival Devils, and they get quickly thrown in there. Lafreniere scores first to put the Rangers up 1-0. The Devils taking control of the shot department, but Ryan Strome puts the second one in for the Rangers. So it's 2-1, but Hamilton answers for the Devils, and it's 2-1. We are past the 10-minute mark, under 7 minutes to play. There's a second goal by Graves on Shesterkin, so we're tied at 2. And we near the end of the first period. The score will stay that way, 2-2. Devils lead the way, 12-8 in shots. We go to the second period. Devils still leading the way. Rangers playing a little conservative with all this firepower that they have. They get a goal. Patrick Bellemare scores on Blackwood to put them up 3-2. So the lower level lines carrying the weight here. Strome, the second line center. Lafreniere on the second line, and now Bellemare, the fourth line. Not a lot of goals here. We go to the third period. It is 3-2 Rangers, but they trail 27-15 in shots. So Shesterkin really holding up under the pressure so far. Rangers on the power play, nothing doing there. Rangers starting to get a little bit of energy, trying to hold off the Devils' assault. Under 5 minutes to play. And the Rangers get a goal. Bellemare with his second of the game. The Rangers lead 4-2. They get Forsberg to get the empty net goal, his first as a Ranger. And the Rangers will win the game 5-2. We check out the 3 stars of the game. Bellemare, 2 goals. In this one, Shesterkin, 35 saves. A very solid performance. I think he gave up 2 goals in the first period and then held his own for the last 2. Strome with a goal and an assist. We check out the Devils' stats here. Dougie Hamilton with 4 shots on goal. And we go to the Rangers. Spreading out. Not a lot of ice time for Strome or Lafreniere. Adam Fox with a +5. And McAvoy with a +4, playing on the top line. But none of the goals are scored by the top line, so they must have been playing a lot more with the second and the fourth line, which does happen. The top line covers for the fourth line. And 5 hits for Zibanejad. Very active night for him. So the Rangers will win. They will improve their record. They will get to 88 wins. We now go on to our next game, which is going to be St. Louis and Washington. Now the Blues, very active lately. They traded for Mackenzie Weegar. They traded for Ben Sherratt earlier. They traded for Matt Tkachuk and Noah Hanifin. They are really trying to get the most out of this team right now. And they are currently the second wild card, not far behind the Stars. In fact, if they win this game, they are tied with the Stars for third in the Central Division. The Capitals are currently trying to chase the Rangers. They are second in the Metropolitan Division. All right, so let's see what we've got in this battle of the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Who will prevail, the Capitals or the Blues? Blues get an early power play, and they will capitalize. Falk scores on Samsonov. They get another quick goal by the newcomer Tkachuk. They lead 2-0. There's an answer by Sprong for the Capitals. The score now goes to 2-1. And we will end the first period. Whoa, late goal by Patrick, who was actually just acquired. They sent Connor McMichael to the Golden Knights for Nolan Patrick, who ties the game there at the end of the period. So 2-2. Good activity in the first, hoping it holds up in the third. Sad's going to score. O'Reilly's going to score, and the Blues quickly take a 2-goal lead. They lead 4-2. I find it kind of funny that Sad plays for the Blues. Little O'Reilly with his second goal scores 5-2 in favor of St. Louis. I hope the Blues keep Sad around for a while. That just feels like a match made in heaven. We go to the third period. The Blues leading by 3 goals. They lead 5-2 over the Capitals. They get a power play here. And Logan Brown's going to score to make it 6-2. So a lot of offense for the Blues here tonight. They go on the power play again. Nothing going there. And this game is out of reach. The Blues will win 6-2. 3 stars of the game. O'Reilly, 2 goals, 2 assists. Krug with no goals and 3 assists. Tkachuk with a goal and an assist. We check out the Capitals stats. Only 1 shot on goal for Ovechkin, so they held him in check. And we go to St. Louis. Tarasenko, 8 shots on goal. He's the guy I would have liked to have seen traded at the deadline. I know that a couple teams were interested. He feels like a guy that will most likely be moved in the offseason. And so we'll go to our next game, Vegas and Winnipeg. This should be our final game, and it will be. So the Golden Knights against the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets trying to catch the Avalanche, who have a game in hand on them, but they're only 1 point behind in the Central Division. And the Golden Knights trying to now jump the Ducks. And in fact, a win here, all 3 teams have the same amount of games played. Now the Golden Knights will go ahead with this game today, but if the Golden Knights win, they are the leader in the Pacific Division. So a pretty important game for the Golden Knights. And they come out firing, and they get a goal. Pacioretty scores. So the Golden Knights lead 1-0. Winnipeg trying to get something going here, get the engines firing, but Zadina is going to score, and it's 2-0 Vegas. And we will end the first period that way, 2-0 in favor of the Golden Knights. They lead 12-8 in shots. We go to the second. There's another goal by the former Winnipeg Jet, Josh Morrissey. Buries one home to put them up 3-0. Roy scores for the Golden Knights, and it's 4-0. So the Golden Knights dominating this game. We're only past the 10-minute mark just now, and Winnipeg has a very uphill battle. And they will be shut out for the second period in a row. So they're going to need a very big third period in order to win this game. Otherwise, the Golden Knights will be looking at the top spot in the Pacific Division. Golden Knights doing very well defensively to hold them off. And the Winnipeg Jets are unable to get anything going, and the Golden Knights are going to win 4-0. We check out the 3 stars of the game. Brossoit, Pacioretty, and Morrissey. Look at the Winnipeg stats. Just not a whole lot doing there for anybody. You get Vegas on the other hand. A lot of activity, a lot of shots on goal. A couple guys here. A lot of activity from the heavy hitters. And so that'll do it. That'll also do it for March 22nd in the ACHL. The Golden Knights, back-to-back shutouts. They outscore their opponents 9-0 in back-to-back games. That's a very uncommon thing to see. And in fact, their offense has been lighting it up. See, 7 goals, 14 goals, 19 goals, 23 goals in their last 4 games, and they've only given up 5. So they are really firing on all cylinders. And on that note, we will say goodnight for March 22nd. We're going to save this video clip and then be right back with March 23rd. See you in a bit.